Today is the 3rd of June 2023, and you are looking at the access hole above the water pump, the 12-volt water pump that in 2020 was replaced with a Flomax. And I'm sure the original one was probably the SureFlow. But anyway, I put water in here. The pump was running and then it stopped. And so it led me to saying, okay, how do I get this pump out of here? I hadn't removed one before. Best way is to take the top two drawers above where the access to the plumbing is, like the shutoff valves and so on. Take the drawers out, then you can see this hole. I actually enlarged this hole. You can see right here, this notch that I cut out with my hole saw and a saber saw. I got to finish cleaning it up and everything else. To access the twist connections, on the pump itself, but also to get at the bottom two screws that are anchored into the wheel well of the motorhome. And I'm sure this is probably insulation that was put on, or to anti-vibration, I suppose, for the pump. But either way, I took the pump out, put it on my bench, because I had pulled the fuse. The fuse was good in the breaker panel, or the fuse panel, but I ended up cutting the two lines, power, to this. These were crimp-on nuts instead of a twist-on nut, so I had to salvage this. But I took it to the bench, and you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. Continuing on my workbench is this Flomax 12-volt pump. And I had a couple plumbing hoses that I save just for grins in case I have to do any repairs in the house or whatever. Fortunately, they fit on the in and out portions of this Flomax pump. But I applied power, using a 12-volt battery that I had sitting around. I put power to this pump. Nothing happened. And so I turned it upside down and I wiggled these two lines. And boom, it fired up, it gave power to it. So the pump is good. It's just that these, pardon my French, the fittings that are on this Flomax pump are crappy, to say the least. They are loose in here. If you see this, they shouldn't be loose like that. They should be secured. And granted, it is a slide-on fitting, but you can't take it off. It's not a barb fitting. But this is shrink tubing that goes over this particular end, the terminal end, onto the pump itself. The pump might be good, but these are lousy. Too much play in here. So I'm going to use a conventional plastic straw or something else, and I'm going to wedge it around this opening for both the top and the bottom connectors. See if I can't tighten it up, put it in the motorhome, and see what I've got. I'm going to test run the Flomax pump now that I sort of tighten up the wire leads going to the pump itself. So let's see what it'll do, if it'll fire up the first time. I just got wires are loose, 12-volt battery, and let's see, I've got the negative connected to negative, and let's see what we got here. You can hear it or not, but I've got a nice, we got a pump. Into the motorhome we go.